All right. Good Friday morning, everyone. You guys alive? You have a good breakfast this morning? All right, let's put your hands together. Let's give a big round of applause to our cafeteria staff over there. All three terminals, yeah. That's awesome. So today is Friday, October 21st, 2022. 10 more days to Halloween, Steve. So up here this morning, glad to have Steve Field, our safety director.
Morning, Dave.
And I'm Dave White, and I work in the safety department with Steve. So glad to have everyone. Want to give a big shout out this morning, too, to all of our operators running down the road, the ones that are doing the work for us today and delivering freight on time, picking it up on time. Most importantly, doing it safely. So big shout out to them. Yeah, give a big round of applause to all of our operators out there. That's all right. So glad to have them this morning. As usual, we have the other two terminals on with us. So let's start out in Salt Lake City, Utah, out west. We have Mr. Troy Rich.
Good morning.
Could you be any more comfortable, Troy?
Yeah, I'm just hanging with my kids here. We're just kind of chilling, you know. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. We're doing good. What's going on at Salt Lake this week?
We've got a big crowd here this week. We got enthused drivers and students and ready to be drivers, and you know, we've got a good crowd. So everybody's happy to be here this morning. It's a beautiful 42 degrees in Salt Lake. So yeah, it's beautiful out here.
I think that's one thing we have in common. It's about 42 here as well. So good deal. Anything else going on this week, Troy? How big's your class? What do you got for orientation?
We had about a dozen students this week. Not too big, but it was a dozen quality students. So that's what we're looking for. We bring in only the best.
That's right. Looking for the cream to rise to the top, no doubt about it. So we'll keep training them up out there. And if you guys need anything, holler at us on the mic. We'll get you on.
Will do. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Let's head out east, Pittston, Pennsylvania. We have Rick Ifford out there.
Hey, good morning. And that's not piped in. That's live and proud.
Wow. Wow.
That's good. How you doing, Ricky?
Hey, doing good. Rick Ifford here, safety supervisor. You know, our numbers were great this week. We had a great crowd in orientation, and we had some visitors this week. We got some people up here from your neck of the woods. One of them is standing next to me here, Dennis Davis.
I see that. Yeah. Hello, Dennis. How are you?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Man, you know, the acoustics in this place are out of control crazy. You know, this crowd is excited. They're so much louder than Salt Lake City. Just had to tell you, you know, that's just how it is. I don't see any sound machines. There's nothing pumped in. This is live. This is energy. This is excited about being here at Prime today.
Hey, Dennis, I have to admit this. Steve said, I bet you Dennis has a mic in his hand this morning. I said, no, I'll go the other route. And you know what? Steve's right.
Well, you know, I get a little bit nervous sometimes when I get around these microphones. So I'm trying to break out of my shell. But, you know, my buddy Rick here is getting me acclimated. I'm comfortable here. I feel like I'm just at home with family.
There you go. Good to have you up there, man. Oh, go ahead, Rick.
He said, he goes, you want me to start?
I could see that, definitely. So anyway, we'll come back to you guys here in a little bit, but great to have you. And if you have any questions, any concerns, whatever, let us know, bud. Appreciate it.
Hey, we appreciate y'all down there. Thank you.
All right, back here in Springfield. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. There we go. We got some noise going. We got some people awake. All right. So great to be back here. Want to give a big shout out this morning to all of our new folks here that are in orientation. Maybe you're wearing a yellow vest. If you're new this week in orientation, first week coming to Prime, if you could stand up and be recognized, all three terminals, we got to give you a big round of applause. All right, great to have you here. Steve, you want to jump in?
Sure.
Go ahead, man.
Morning, everyone. It's good to see everyone. You know, we're always in a good mood on Friday. You know, I say this every week. It's just a good time to be in trucking. And I truly believe that it is a good time to be in trucking. And for our new folks, you know, we're glad you chose us. There's a lot of opportunity out there. There's a lot of trucking companies, but you know, we certainly feel that we are the best, and we're going to show that to you. We're going to earn your confidence, going to earn your respect out there. But we're going to ask a lot of you, you know, for the new folks, the drivers that have been with us for a while. You know, our expectations are high. You are a professional driver, and our new folks, we will turn you into professional drivers as you go through your training program. And it's not easy. It's challenging out there, but you can do it. I know you can. You know, you'll start with your instructor out there for several weeks, get that kind of behind you, come in, test out, get that CDL, then you're ready to go. But really, that's just starting your training here at Prime. Then we're going to send you out for a good number of miles after that. And this is a good time to start your training because we're heading into winter, and you know, that can't be a good time. It's the best time to start your training. While you're out there with your trainer, you can learn the challenges of winter driving. And it is challenging. Winter presents a unique set of challenges for us every year out there, and no more so than for our drivers out there. And just remember one thing, just one thing about winter, and that is if you're not comfortable, doesn't matter if you've been here 30 years or 20 years or 1 week, it doesn't matter. If you're not comfortable, find a safe place to park that truck, get secure, call us so we can call the customer, and then just ride out that storm, ride out that weather. As Dennis has said so eloquently several weeks here now, it doesn't take long to get those roads clean. Those are professionals out there in the States with a lot of winter weather. They'll get them clean, and by the next morning, it'll be a whole new world out there. So please, please take it to heart. If you're not comfortable, don't be shy about saying, you know, I'm going to find a safe place to park. I'm going to call my dispatcher. I'm going to ride this out, because there's not a load out there that's worth you getting hurt or anyone in the motoring public getting hurt. It's just not worth it. There's nothing we haul that is worth that. So again, welcome to our new folks. Welcome to all you other folks that we see from time to time here in the terminal. We're glad you're here. We got a great bunch of speakers today. So you want to start off with safety, Dave?
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. Steve brought up about winter weather driving, and I had a gentleman at my desk just yesterday. He B2 seat. He has about 6 critical events, so he can't upgrade at this point. He does have the miles, but he's got to spend a little bit more time out there with his trainer. And we're going through the critical events, and he understood what he needed to do to reduce those and eliminate them. And finally, I looked at where he's from. He's from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I go, whoa. I go, have you lived up north? Have you been up north in the wintertime? And he goes, never have been. I've never even seen snow. And I go, okay, except on TV, of course, he said. He goes, I've seen those. But I said, well, so something to think about, and something I really pushed with him is staying out there and teaming up over the wintertime. If you've never experienced snow, you've never driven in it, you know, even if you have and you've driven a car, it's way different than a tractor trailer. So if you have some reservations about being out there on your own, and even though you could upgrade, you don't have to upgrade here at Prime. We would much rather have you team up with somebody and stay out there and, get your, get it, make sure you understand what's going on out there. Make sure you're comfortable with your driving. And that's more important, and knowing what to do and what not to do rather than trying to figure out on your own. So, and I think that's what he was going to do. He's really aiming towards that route. So, but let's get to the safety numbers here. This past week, we had 158 DOT inspections. 113 of those were clean. So 72% clean rate. Yeah, give yourselves a round of applause. This past week, John Harden in our safety department, he signed off on the inspections, and he came up yesterday. We talked about him. He said a couple things that we really need to focus on, pre-tripping on trailers. So make sure you don't take any shortcuts when you get a trailer. Make sure you go around, check the whole trailer out. All the lights are working, things like that, because if you go across the scale, you're missing a light burnout, or even if you're just running down a road, officer sees that trailer's got a burnout light, they're going to stop you and do an inspection. They do an inspection, you've already got a violation. You got burnout light, and then they're going to look from there and move on. So, make sure you do thorough pre-trip inspections. Also, your fire extinguishers that are inside your truck, make sure they are secured along with your triangles. They can't be loose, laying in there on its side. It needs to be secured within your box, because they look for that as well. So yesterday, I had the opportunity to run down here to the Joplin scales. Missouri did a little co-op with the Missouri Trucking Association. So I took one of our mechanics down there, And we actually got to work the scale site down here in Joplin. It's quite an eye-opener. They have improved that scale. They built a new one a couple years ago. Obviously, they haven't had this program going on. They used to have it, but once COVID hit, they locked it down, so they quit doing it. But now they're allowing us to come in annually to work a scale around the state. And yesterday was in Joplin, and really interesting watching the technology inside the scale house they have. They got the pre-pass and they got the drive-wise up. They got a screen for both of them. They are, they know when you cross that transponder out there on I-44, they know what carrier you're with, what the license plate number is, what your safety history is, everything, and they can determine if they want to see it or not. Also, they weigh you while you're out there as well, so they know your weight. So if you're overweight, yeah, you're going to be getting pulled in more than likely, and they're not going to let that one bypass because that's worth some money to them. But not only that, you're overweight, you're illegal. So they're doing their job out there. One thing they did say, though, one thing to remember, when you have an inspection, try to act as professional as you can. They said too many times they get drivers getting out of their trucks. Well, what are you picking on me for? What are you doing? I don't have time for this. It's like, well, they got a job to do, and so do we as drivers. So when you get it, when you have that situation occur, act as professional as possible. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. If you don't understand what they're asking you to do, ask questions. That's okay. They understand some people are new in this industry. More and more, there's more new ones out there driving, and you may have never been through an inspection before. If you don't understand what they're asking, ask questions. That's what they want to know, and they'll help you. And they really appreciate it. The lady that ran the scale down here, her name's Michelle, and her dad was a truck driver for over 30 years. So she goes, I know trucking, and she's been doing this for 18 years down here in Joplin. Wonderful lady, and she's got 5 officers underneath her at the scale. And they're just trying to get the bad drivers out, off the road, and the bad trucks that need to work on, and get them fixed so they can get back out there. But anyway, great program. Great, we got great rapport with the Missouri Highway Patrol and the scales as well. So
we do, Dave. And I think you told me last night or yesterday afternoon when you got back, when you gave them your card, if they ever have any questions about Prime, didn't she give some comments about Prime drivers specifically?
Oh, she did. She says, we never have a problem with Prime drivers. She says, you got a great group of people up there, and your drivers, even the new ones. She says, we know you. She goes, you're not one of those companies, but there are companies out there, and they remember that. They remember those run-ins they have. And she goes, you're not one of them. I said, thank goodness. But if you ever have a question or issue, they have my card down there, and they know who to contact if something does come up. But one thing I want to say on safety too, as well, is we're going to switch off the inspections. The deer are running out there. We are hitting deer left and right. It's that time of year. October and November here at Prime are our highest deer hits of the year because of the rutting, because of the mating season that's going on, and they're just crazy running around. And we're this year already, or just this month in October, we're already at 42 deer hits already. And so, remember, deer jumps out in front of you. Don't swerve. Don't run off the road. We want you to hit it. Just hit it. If you see a deer down and you're looking down the road, you see him stand up on the shoulder, probably a good idea to start slowing down. That's a good idea. But the hard break or something like that, if one pops out, they reproduce pretty easily. We've got a lot of them out there, and I wouldn't worry about that end of it, but just take out the deer, and we'll deal with the damage. If you swerve or run off the road, then you just increase that chance of having a rollover accident, run off the road accident, you getting hurt, and it's not worth it. So at the end of the day, and that's what I tell my kids when they're driving their cars too, and I've got an 18-year-old, and I've went over this with him many times. If you got a deer jumps out in front of you, just hit it. I'll deal with the damage on your vehicle. We'll take care of that. Insurance will. Other than that, I just don't want you getting hurt. So remember that. We're doing a good job because we haven't had any run off the roads or rollovers due to animals. So let's keep going that direction. We've even got a couple elk this year already too as well. And those things are a little bit bigger and they do a little bit more damage. But once again, we'll get your truck fixed at the end of the day. So any questions on that? Any comments?
We are having a good week safety-wise, so we're not going to talk about any specific accidents today. But I do just want to, as we're heading into winter, I always get nervous this time of year, and because it is so challenging when we're out there at winter. So, let me just give you just a couple of points before we start talking to our speakers right here. We know, number one, if you're not safe, go ahead and park the vehicle. And I think everyone knows this, but what is the number one reason for accidents in winter? The cause? Speed. There we go. Thank you, Jerry. Just too much speed out there. And each of you are going to have a different comfort level. Someone that's been here long enough to achieve 1 or 2 or 3 million safe miles their comfort level is going to be different than someone that's just joining us today. Drive at a speed that you are comfortable with. Don't worry what everyone else is doing. Watch your speed, watch your following distance, and just as important, don't be distracted in the cab. You know, this Sunday, Dennis, who's going to speak here in a minute, Dennis Davis from our safety department, he and I went up to Kansas City for a meeting, and I was driving, he was navigating, and, you know, I don't get up there very often, but, you know, I'm just in this little tiny pickup, and, you know, it's still confusing. All the roads, it keeps saying stay in the right lane to exit, but they keep adding more and more lanes to the right. So I've got to keep moving over and over to be in the right lane, be in the correct lane. And I'm thinking, well, let's imagine doing this at night in the rain with 72 or 73 feet of equipment out there. First time you've ever been there. You don't want to be distracted while you're doing that. You want to be totally focused on what you're doing. So I'm not going to beat that to death, but please, in the cab, don't be distracted when you're driving. Use your time and all your brain power on what you're doing, which is driving safely, watching out for the other person, making sure you know exactly what you're going to do if something happens. And that's how we'll get through this winter. We get through every winter. We just want to make it as safe as possible and make sure all our drivers get home and the motoring public gets home. So we got speakers, don't we?
So let's go up to Pittston. Let's go back up there. Let's get Dennis and Heather up there. Heather with Cardinal Health is up there as well with Dennis.
Hey, good morning again. Good morning again, David, Steve, and everybody that's listening. Hey, Steve, you know, I was just sitting back telling some of these people about, you know, some turns you may have made and maybe some fantastic navigation that was being given at that time. So, you know, I'm glad you brought that up. So. Hey, you know, I want to talk a little bit about this morning about an unsung hero here at Prime. You know, she's been a part of our team for a while. She's a vendor. She's housed there in the basement of the Millennium Building right there at Cardinal Sleep. Her name is Heather. She's here with me. And, you know, she helps our drivers with sleep apnea. So, you know, I suffer from sleep apnea. I use a CPAP machine. You know, my big brick of a machine is at home on my nightstand. Heather was, you know, hooked me up, let me know how to purchase a travel machine so I'm able to use it, get therapy like I need. You know, we're here with a team of folks from Springfield to, you know, inspect the place, see what we can do about expanding those services here in Pittston, Pennsylvania. And Heather's just going to talk a little bit about, you know, some of the services she provides. You know, she was an unsung hero about a year and a half ago with the big CPAP recall on the Philips machines. But the new machines it got a few challenges. But again, Heather's pressed on that manufacturer to get an update done so we can make it a little bit better. Good morning, Heather.
Good morning. Good morning, Missouri. Well, it's beautiful up here. The trees are awesome. So we're missing out down there right now. But I just was going to tell everybody that I am here in Pittston. I'll be here all day. So if you're in the area, definitely come in and see me. I have resupply. I can do the updates on the machines. So if you're on a resident machine, then definitely come by here and see me so that I can get that taken care of. It makes the machine upload much faster, much quicker. I know that some of you have been having some trouble with that. So we definitely want to get that taken care of while you're here. So that's a big thing. If you don't know what type of machine you're on, and I know that that's common, then just have your fleet manager contact me or give me a call. They can give you my cell number, but definitely we want to get you taken care of while you're here. Also, if you need anything, I did bring resupply. If you need me to leave something for you, if you're going to be here in the next few days, we had, you know, a couple drivers call and they had placed some orders and paid for that. And I'm going to leave it here with security. So definitely, if you need anything, let me know. Come by and see me in Springfield. Everybody's there. So definitely, if you're in Springfield, go by and see them. If you have a resident machine, get that taken care of. Same thing in Salt Lake City. Amber will be there all day and she can take care of you. These machines are really good devices, but they are different than our other ones that we've had in the past, but they're doing every effort to bring them up to speed to where they will work really well for you. And so this update is going to be a big help to everyone. So.
Hey, real quick, tell me about the hours in Salt Lake, hours in Springfield.
Okay. In Springfield, we are 8 to 4, Monday through Friday. In Salt Lake, they are 7 to 4, Monday through Friday. So definitely, anytime that you want to come by and see what we have, just talk. If you're having any issues, let us know. We can also set you up with a physician consult so you can make sure that you, if you need to talk to the doctor again, that you'll be able to do that. But yeah, definitely come by and see us. And, just even if you have questions, I spent some time yesterday with some drivers that just had some questions, and we definitely want to help you out. And also, if there's something I can't do on site, I will definitely, like I did for Dennis, get you in touch with somebody that has what you need so we can make sure we get you taken care of.
So definitely anybody sitting in one of the safety meetings, Springfield, Salt Lake, or Pittston, with a resident machine that needs to be updated, come on. We are live at each location. Heather's here in Pittston. She's got her staff there in Salt Lake and Springfield. Come on down, get it done so that you don't have to be routed back here during the holiday season or anything like that. So, hey, just wanted to say you guys look really good on these screens. The scenery behind you, Dave, you look okay too, so it looks fantastic. It's awesome to get a different perspective every once in a while and see what these good folks here in Pittston see from time to time.
It's nice seeing you guys up there. Heather, now that you've been up there and you've been able to look around, you and I were talking about a timeline to hopefully get a small sleep lab up there in Pittston. What are your thoughts now that you've been up there?
I definitely think that we can definitely get that done up here. A timeline, I have other people that I need to include in that. But I definitely feel like in the next few months, we could probably get this going. I would love to see that happen. I know that it would make it so much more convenient for the drivers, and that's what we need to do.
Fantastic. And Dave had a point too, Heather. What's the best number if a driver does have a question? He's not sure how to do a download. He needs supplies. Is there one number they can call for Cardinal Sleep to get all their questions answered?
Yes. The Springfield location is probably the easiest number. It's 417-719-4267. And they can, from there, they can give them Amber's number, or they can give them my cell phone number out here if they need to reach me. So, but that's the best start. So, and I'm also going to have bags out here in pins, and the pins always have our phone number on them. So out here, I'll be passing those out since I've done that in Springfield and Salt Lake. So.
Perfect. Well, thanks for being up there, Heather, keeping an eye on Dennis for us. And you do a great job for our operators. I know CPAP can sometimes be an emotional subject, but you heard Dennis say, hey, he's on therapy. It really does make a difference. You get better sleep. You're healthier, you live longer. So please listen to what Cardinal Sleep tells you. They're really in this to make sure that it makes your life better. So thanks, Heather, and thanks, Dennis. I think we'll just stay with you up there. I saw Rick Yarborough there, and I believe Rick's got a little information for us as well.
I do. Sure, is this on? Do you hear me? Yeah, I do. Thanks, guys, for giving me a few minutes here this morning. Sir, come on, have a seat here. I was fortunate enough this week to hit all 3 prime locations as far as a big terminal: Springfield, Salt Lake City, and of course I'm back here in my home terminal in Pittston. And I can't tell you how proud I am to be part of this organization for many reasons. It's just the best people in the world, and for our new drivers, our new associates, you're joining a really great family. You really are. So thanks for making me feel welcome everywhere I was this week. And, we do this for all of our divisions. I think Prime probably recognizes every aspect of every person and department here. Now, just in the past couple of weeks in the shops, we've had what we call the top of the shop event. Each location, we recognize the mechanics who have been the most effective and the most efficient throughout the past year. And we have several awards for them. We do a nice little dinner for them, or a big dinner, I shouldn't say little. So it's a good time. So we like to recognize everyone. I was fortunate enough also to go to Salt Lake City's event on Wednesday night for their top of the shop, and we did ours last week, and so did Springfield. And we go a little bit further. We actually invest a lot into our folks here. Last year, Kevin Bergman and worked, of course, with Robert and Bethel College to set up a business management course for our foreman out in the shop. So all of you, you go to all of our shops, and we got some top-notch mechanics here. and we want to make sure that, we're working with them the right way and we got the right supervisors for them. So we offered all of our shop's personnel and associates a chance to take this year-long course at Bethel College. It was a business certificate that Prime paid for. We had 17 graduates of this course from the 3 terminals combined. So, this week we got all of them from all 3 terminals out in Springfield. Bethel flew in, and we had a really nice graduation ceremony for them. So I just wanted to point out, I welcome all of you. And by the way, I just have to say it one more time, Salt Lake City, I'm a little jealous of your new terminal and your space. I just have to keep saying that until I get sick of saying it. But that being said, we are making continuous, progress and upgrades here in Pittston. For those of you who aren't aware, right behind you, that building, that's our new dog wash and dog runs. It's operational now. So those of you that have your pets on the truck and you want to take them out, get them washed and let them run around in some grass out there, please clean up after yourself. But, there's 3 dog runs over there. We have a bunch of contractors coming this morning. I know if you look down this hallway, it's dirty. It's not really up to Prime standards. It's time to replace it. So we're ripping all this out. We're going to make some upgrades upstairs in the bunk rooms as well. So anyway, I just wanted to give a shout out. Thank everyone for having me this week at the other terminals, and welcome to Prime, everyone.
Thank you for that, Rick. And, certainly during COVID, there was no greater heroes than the truckers out there. But, I think it is important to also mention the mechanics that didn't have the opportunity to work from home, that were here every day, making sure your trucks were serviced. And we do have a great shop facility in all 3 locations. And we're going to talk about the shop a little bit more. But I think before we get there, Dave, you got a next speaker?
Yeah, let's, Prime's been a big supporter at preventing domestic violence. And this morning, I'm proud to have Dee Sova and Amy Hess come on up here. Dee is a 1,000,000-mile-plus safe driver for Prime. She's also a member of America's Road Team, which is a fantastic organization she belongs to. Does a great job of representing Prime on it. And great to have you both here. And go ahead, the iCare campaign, I believe it is.
Yes. All right. So if you haven't noticed, if you've been walking throughout our terminals, can you guys hear me? Yeah. Anyway, if you've been walking throughout our terminal, our plaza building, and at the campus inn, you've already seen some of the signs talking about domestic violence. Prime has been a contributor of working with Harmony House for years, okay? And it's something that we absolutely want to make sure that you understand, that we care about the issues that concern not only our community, but also our drivers and our associates. Unfortunately, there's been several who have been impacted by domestic violence. Harmony House has a campaign called iCare. Inside of their facilities, they have 175 beds for men, women, and children. Okay, so domestic violence does not just impact women, men are involved as well. How many of you are aware of that? That was too quiet. How many of you are really aware of the fact that men also experience domestic violence, guys? And we want to be a part of that solution. Harmony House is doing a great job of helping those people to get shelter, feeding program. They get to feed them, medical, legal help. Anything else you want to add to that?
I think you're doing great.
Okay. So we want to be a part of it. This is a part of the culture of who we are at Prime. And that's one of the many things that I love about this company. We get involved, guys. And so not just building this great company where everybody is making money, we are givers here at Prime. So we're going to challenge you to make donations towards this cause. Amy is going to be our contact here in the Millennial Building. She'll have buttons and eye patches for you all to, make a hearty donation. Did I say hearty? I sure did. I said hearty because when you give, you are really living, I promise. So we will have buttons available just like the one that I'm wearing right now. It says iCare. We also will have eye patches that we're going to be wearing on October 28th. In the Plaza building, you will have Alicia and Brenda right behind our drivers lineup. They're in the logs department. They will have both buttons and eye patches for you. And over at the campus end, we have Andrea Wall, who is also going to have buttons and eye patches for you to donate, guys. And the other thing is we also have shirts and hoodies for you all. If you want to go online, the way that you're going to know about those, though, you have to be in touch with our social media. Amy is going to do a great job of getting that out to you, the link where you can get the hoodies, and you can also buy the t-shirts, or you can just donate through our link for Prime. Are you guys with me on that? All right, and really, really quickly, I want to tell you, I have been involved in domestic violence. When I was a child, my mother was seriously abused by my stepfather. And I remember many times we were running down the street to get away from this man. We literally were hiding in closets in other relatives' houses just to get away from him. And I vowed from that experience that I would never accept a man abusing me. And then it happened to me with my children's father. He physically abused me to the point where he disfigured my face, and my children and I had to find a place of shelter. Luckily, I sent a note to one of my neighbors. She called my church for me. My church got me in touch with a program that was similar to what Harmony House is doing, and I was able to get away from my abuser. That was his one and only time, because remember I said I was not going to accept that for my life or for my kids. And so I can't tell you how valuable it is to invest in this area. We talk about all the things that we want to do as a company, but we also need to be givers on this very important factor. If it was not for this shelter, I wouldn't be standing here today, guys. This happened just before I came into the trucking industry, and that was back in 1991. So I'm asking you to do your part like we always do. You guys are amazing when it comes to giving, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you get to do. I want to see you on October 28th wearing those buttons and also those eye patches. Amy's going to be wandering around here taking pictures so that we show our support for Harmony House and the iCare program. Anything else you want to add to that?
I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your story. I think whenever you do share a story like that, it becomes more personal. I think we all know you around here for sure. Everybody does. And, you know, we just need to show our support. And it's a small thing that you guys can do to wear these buttons and these eye patches or go on and make a donation. It's a very important program. And just know that if you are in this situation, that you're not alone, and you can talk to us on social media, reach out to me. I'm Amy Hess. So reach out to me on Facebook if you'd like. I mean, you have so many people to support you. Dee's always going to be there, obviously.
Always. And that is particularly true of our Highway Diamonds. I want to make sure that you understand that you have a contact person. If not me, Brooke Mosley is in our private group, Prime Highway Diamond Support. Feel free to reach out to either one of us. We'll be happy to get you the information you need. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, Dee. Thank you, Amy. And, I'll echo Amy's comments. Thanks for sharing that, Dee. I know it wasn't easy for you, but, you really are an inspiration for us, what you've given back to the industry and what you've given to Prime. So, thank you, Dee, and thank you, Amy, for coming up. We're going to talk about a couple other subjects. This is a trucking company. We should be talking about trucking, but we talk about trucking a lot, and this all involves trucking. It involves you being safe out there. It involves taking care of your family. And part of taking care of your family is making sure that you're taken care of if you get sick or, other things happen to you. So we've got Brandyn Mallard from our HR department here today, because I believe on the company side, we're hitting open enrollment, and it's important to get that information out, Brandyn.
Yes, sir. Thank you. It's this time of year again. So just want to make a couple of announcements. Company drivers open enrollment started on Monday for you. That will run until November 11th. This time of year, you can make changes on your medical, dental, vision plans. I would also recommend during open enrollment, every year, take a look at your life insurance. Make sure that is, it's at the levels you need. And even if it is, definitely take a look at who your beneficiary is, okay? You definitely want to look at that every year and make sure that if something does happen, that it's going to who you need it to go to take care of your family, okay? So like I said, open enrollment will go through November 11th. Also, company drivers, this is a good time. We have a wellness program that can help you a little bit with the rates on the health insurance. If that's something that you're interested in, definitely get a hold of Dr. Abraham's office. They can go into more detail about it. You can definitely call me. To do the enrollment over the phone, you can call the enrollment center. We've got all that information in the packet, or you can reach out to me about it, or you can also log into My Prime and you can change your benefits there and review them. So once again, if you guys have any questions about open enrollment, reach out to me. Independent contractors, your open enrollment will start here in about a week and a half, okay? You can start enrolling in medical plans on November 1st, and the government has that open through January 15th again this year. So you have quite a bit of time to enroll. Now, for independent contractors, we partner with Enrollment First. Dave Brill over here, he can help you get signed up for medical, dental, vision, and a whole bunch of other ancillary products, okay? So understand we definitely have solutions for you as well. So keep your eyes open on your app. We'll be sending out notifications November 1st for you also, so you can go through your enrollment, okay? Any questions for me before I get out of here?
I got a couple for you, Brandon. First of all, let's clarify where you guys are located at.
Yeah, so right up here, heading towards the Z building. We're in the hallway right before that on the east side. In the HR department, swing by, definitely come see me.
And I think you brought up some great points about making sure beneficiaries are right, life insurance is right. Assuming they're a company driver and falls under our HR department, correct, can they come see you guys? Is that where they would go to?
Absolutely. Now, for some of the enrollments, we can't actually do those being individual products. But for the most part, I mean, we're very knowledgeable on it. We can hold your hand through it. We're more than happy to do that. We understand that, insurance is confusing and complicated if you don't live that world. So as always, reach out to me. I can break it down for you where it's more understandable. I can help you compare plans, and ultimately it's your decision. But I love helping you guys get through that.
Well, we can tell that you got a great team up there with you under Aaron. So thanks for being here today, Brandon.
Right,
appreciate you as always. Let me just reemphasize something Brandon said and add a little bit to that. And that was making sure that your beneficiaries are up to date, that you have whatever life insurance you think that you need to take care of your family. And it's also critical that we have an accurate next of kin emergency contact, someone we can notify on your behalf if something happens. We're a big family. We've got over 10,000 associates, and unfortunately, sometimes things do happen, and we need to be able to get hold of your family if necessary to say you've been hospitalized or whatever the case may be. So please make sure that you keep that emergency contact updated. And I believe right now the best way to do it is just through your fleet manager. They'll change it in what we call the driver master. I was talking with Brianna. Oh, it is in there. Okay. Under My Info in the app. So if you go to the app and go to My Info, you can just go ahead and change who you want us to contact if we have an emergency with you. So please, please, please keep that up to date. You'd never think you're going to need it, but when we need it, we want it to be accurate to take care of you and your family. Any questions on that?
Speaking about the app, if you have any questions on that, getting signed on, questions like this, Brianne and Richard will be over here after the meeting. Come and see them. They know more about that thing than anybody, and they developed it. So, yeah, go see them for help, and they'll get you set up.
Absolutely. You ready, Shaun? All right, we're going to swing right back into mainstream trucking right now, and I'll get it started, then let Shaun take over because he knows what he's talking about, unlike myself. So we're doing a test on DriveWise. It's similar to pre-pass. It's a weigh in motion, but it does a lot more. And we know there's questions on it, so I've asked Shaun to come, who's kind of been leading this project, this test for us. So before I say anything incorrect, I'm going to turn it over to you, Shaun. And
it's a good call, Steve. Thank you. So my name's Shaun, and I mentioned this, I've been up here the last couple of weeks, and I mentioned it last week. This is actually a program that we did a behind the scenes test on like 5 years ago on it. And the numbers just weren't really where we wanted them to be on it. So things changed, products become more robust. So we did another, they call it an analytics side of it, a few months ago. Looked at the numbers on it and really had some positive results on it on the scale bypass side of it compared to pre-pass. So we really looked apples to apples, exactly open scale, would you've got a green light or not, those scenarios. And some really positive numbers. So we look at now, the idea is, okay, I want to know your guys' opinions on it also. So that's where we've came up and now we actually have what we call the driver facing test, where you guys will actually see the alerts, get a feel for what it's about, things like that. We started that Tuesday. It rolled out, getting some feedback on it a little bit now. The irony on this is most of the feedback I got was before the test ever started, and we'll get to that here in a minute. But the bypass side of it's really kind of my wheelhouse of it to make sure you guys, it's worth your time. It's worth your effort to try to make sure we get you by as many times as we can. Now, the other side of it is called a program called Safety Plus. And that's the one that probably Steve is the most interested in here. And that's really one that's going to tell you whenever things are coming, right? So if you come up to a scale, it'll tell you 2 miles ahead that there's a scale up ahead, 1 mile ahead, there's a scale. And then as you get up there, it tells you to bypass or pull in. So those are pretty simple, right? But, you don't always know, especially if you're a new driver out here, where are those sharp curves at? Where are the low bridges at? Where are the steep grades? Things like that. And there's, within their product right now, there's, I believe, 1,500 of those that are marked throughout the country. We also have the opportunity to be able to mark them in custom zones, that they call them. And I believe safety has done this already. And, all the way down to when you're coming in, it says, welcome home. If you're turning and you're coming off of 44, you're going through here. It also tells you as you're heading up to Mayfair, it says, do not turn on Mayfair, go up to Packer Road. I know none of you guys would do that, but those little things like that can really make a difference in you guys' lives out there. Just make it easier for you, alerting you guys to those types of things. So that's kind of the quick overview of it. So I'll let Steve, he does know about this part, so I'll let him step in for a minute and we'll talk a little bit more. So go ahead.
Thanks for that vote of confidence, Shaun. We really are excited about the Safety Plus portion. And, you say, well, how can you hit a low bridge? There's signs out there, but, there's just a lot going on. And normally coming across a low bridge is a result of you got lost, you got turned around. Maybe you were following a personal GPS that took you on a route you shouldn't have been on. You're running tight on an appointment. You've got a lot going on. And the next thing you know, either you're facing that bridge right in front of you, or worse yet, you're partway under it. And it happens. I know we'll all agree it shouldn't happen. And we're very optimistic that this will give us that last chance, that last alert to say you're approaching a 12-6 bridge, stop. Low bridge accidents are always catastrophic as far as the equipment and the cargo go. So we're excited about that. We're excited about the ability to just give you a little warning that a scale is coming, because sometimes you may have been watching a vehicle. What's he doing? When you went by the sign on the scale and you go, was that open or closed? Now I'm not sure. You're just a little bit, unsure whether you should be pulling in or not. You'll get that right there on your OmniTracks, which we'll talk about in a minute. And also for the steep grade, the tight turns, just another tool that hopefully will keep us safe out there. So the bypass is great, but I'm really focused and really excited about the Safety Plus portion.
So, Steve, I believe we had a low bridge encounter a couple of weeks ago. Did you look to see if that one was on here?
It is. They're very confident that they've got the low bridges. And if for some reason you come across one that's not, we can contact DriveWise. They can add it. We can also add points that are unique to us. Shaun mentioned one here, making sure everyone's aware, don't turn on Mayfair, go to Packer. There are certain customers, we come out and we think we're going the right way. We end up in a neighborhood. They get mad at us. They forget that truckers bring everything they eat, everything they wear, everything that they use. But nevertheless, we can put little warnings there for you just to help you a little bit in those tight situations.
So I mentioned the feedback side of it, and that's really important. The analytics side of it, the how many bypasses you get, things like that, those are easy for us to look at. But really the idea is I want your feedback from it. And I'll tell you, as I said, the majority of the feedback I've got came beforehand, and it was all revolved around one concept. And that concept is, can the OmniTrax handle something else running through it? And I think that's a very valid concern. So that's really a piece of it that I need to make sure you guys understand how it works and what the differences are. So I agree, OmniTrax has had some struggles. And Rodney's not here right now, but he's told me multiple times they have made huge headway in fixing those items. Because really it worked for a while. Then we had a really bad run for a bit of time. And they've really identified what a lot of those are and have made a lot of strides in fixing that part of it. Now, that's general knowledge for you guys. Now, the reason I say that's general knowledge is because DriveWise does not run through the same process everything else you guys are used to running through on. And there's a certain J1939 cable that really is kind of the lifeblood of what the OmniTrax is, right? This does not run through that. So the things that run through there seems to be some type of bottleneck issue with that. This runs completely independent of that. It runs passive until it goes through a geofence. And at that point, the only resources it uses is to give you that alert. And if it's a scale, it would be to pass back and forth the cellular information that says, do you bypass or not? So the tax on your OmniTrax device is very, very minimal. And what I want from you guys, instead of telling me, can it handle it? I want to know, tell me what changed. When we turned it on, what didn't work correctly? And everybody that has messaged me and asked, or just with their concerns on it, I've asked them, I said, give me the example of what it is that actually changed on it whenever we did this. And I don't have that yet, but we're just a few days into it, but that's the valuable information that we need to see. Does it really affect your device, or is it just a concern based on prior experience? I believe you have a question.
Will it be able to check when you have hazmat and whether you should go in, whether it's green or not? There are some places you have to go in no matter what.
You're correct, and it will not know that at this point, no. Yeah, you know, and that's the idea, right? You know, so the idea is right now, until we get it possibly more robust on it, the idea is you would know whether you need to pull in or not. So, Steve, what feedback have you got, or anything that I didn't cover?
You know, I think the biggest concern that we've gotten in safety so far is, as Shaun said, the concern about the OmniTrax. And I won't repeat what he said. I think it's accurate that there have been challenges. We think we're working through them, but we need specific examples. So if you find that it's sending you in somewhere that isn't even a scale, it's saying pull in, and there's no scale here. We need to know where that happened. If it's impacting your logs or it's impacting your messaging, we need to know about that specifically. They've got a good team at DriveWise. They are associated with OmniTrax. We have weekly calls with them to talk our way through this. But again, remember, this is just still a test. We're still using pre-pass. We haven't made a final decision, but your input is important to us, because when we make a decision like this, it's huge, and we're going to make it for 7,500 trucks, and we want to make sure we get it right.
Yeah, we got a question right here, Steve.
Got my bifocals on here.
I'll get it.
Does that OmniTrax, where you come up to a scale or whatever, does that show up on your Qualcomm screen, or is it something different, totally different?
No, it'll come up on your screen, and it'll tell you 2 miles ahead, which you don't have now. It'll tell you 2 miles ahead, says scale in 2 miles, scale in 1 mile, and then it will tell you bypass or not. And that pops up there for 10 seconds, I believe, on there. So it's long enough where you can see it, but it shouldn't affect. Somebody did have a question about, well, what if it affects my navigation? You know, it stays up here. What if it stays up forever and I miss my turn or whatever? 10 seconds, driving down the road, you can get placed. I get it, but you're probably going to know more than 10 seconds before that you needed to turn.
In the back, Keith, the lady. Hang on just 1 second. He's going to bring you a mic.
I just bring it. I'll let you guys know. This is for company tractors, and you guys have a message on your news section of your app, and in that it gives you an area for feedback on there. You can just click it. It'll send an email to me. So that's how you most easily get me feedback. Yes, ma'am.
It'll actually let you use your finger to tap it to get it to go off the screen once you've read it.
Perfect. Yeah. So yeah, if you know it and you need it off there, tap it the screen evidently, and it'll take it off there. Thank you for that. So I sit downstairs Steve's in the safety department. Like I said, you know how to send me a message through that news section of your app. Anything else you have?
I'm good. Any final questions on the DriveWise? All right, good.
Hey, I appreciate it. And guys, looking for your feedback. Thank you.
Appreciate you coming up, Shaun.
Good information there, Steve.
You know, let's do something that we've done a couple weeks in a row here, and I'll have Dave do the interviewing this time. So who's one of our new folks just starting out? Perfect. Come on up. You're right there. Perfect.
Front row. Look at what front row gets you.
I'm going to give you a mic. This is well, we're going to find out. Dave's going to talk with you, see who you are, and what you're taking away from it.
Yeah. How long you been with Prime?
Started on Sunday.
Where are you from? Where's home?
Kentucky.
Just Kentucky? You don't have a city?
Boone County.
Boone County, Kentucky. All right. What'd you do before you came to Prime?
I worked for Kroger Distribution. I was an LTO driver and a slash yard dog.
See a few Prime trucks come in there every once in a while?
Occasional.
All right. So what brought you here?
Prime was, well, honestly, YouTube's Crazy Bags and Tim Allen.
All right. So a few people referred you?
No, I didn't choose them, and I didn't want to do that because I like all of them, and I didn't want to show favoritism.
I got you. So today, what'd you get out of this meeting?
Well, I like the idea of the future of being able to know that you're going to be able to detect what's coming up on the bridges and on the way stations. I like that.
Good deal. Anything else? How about on the safety front?
Well, being new and being around safety and being on safety teams, I like the idea that all the stuff that you're all saying, but it's still a lot to intake being new because I'm still learning.
There you go. That's good. Good information. We try to be as transparent as possible. As you can tell, these meetings, none of them are pre-made behind the scenes. We come up here, we have a few people we bring in. That's how we do things, and makes it a lot more transparent to our operators and to people like you. So appreciate you coming on board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Good luck. Yes.
Now, I'm not going to forget this week. You know, a lot of us are wearing red. It's kind of an acronym for Remember Everyone Deployed. You know, we do have a lot of veterans here. You know, we love our veterans. We love all our folks here. But, you know, veterans, there's a special place in our heart, those that have defended our country. So if you're a veteran, would you go ahead and stand this morning so we can recognize you for your service to our country?
A lot of veterans in here, Steve.
It's a good day. It was a real good day. Okay, Dave and I are getting ready to pass the mic. We're heading into the weekend. You know, sometimes it's a little easy to drop your guard on the weekend. Let's make it a safe weekend out there. Let's remember, go at a speed that's appropriate for the conditions and your driving ability. Let's make sure we leave a good following distance and don't be distracted in the cab. We're going to get this. We're going to get through this together. We're proud of everything you do out there. Our new folks, again, welcome. We're glad you're here. You're part of the family now. I'd like to introduce Steve Wutke, our Vice President of Sales and Marketing.
Thank you, guys. Nice to see you. Man, it's not the same not having Dennis here. He seems like he's pretty content up there, but we'll get you back down here, Dennis. Appreciate you. Yeah, my name's Steve Wutke. I'm in sales here at Prime, and man, we've had a great run. Business is still pretty good, a little spotty in a couple places, but we feel like with the fall coming and you know, it's getting in our wheelhouse and things will be picking up again. Some of the things that you've heard today are not necessarily safety. It's about being part of this family because we care very much about our driver base. We care about your health and wellness. We care about your earning opportunities. We care about your families and your safety. So when you new folks are joining a company like ours, personally, I think it's one of a kind. I don't think you could find another company that really does care so much about you all as people and not just drivers. We're fortunate we have an owner that invests in facilities to make your lives as easy as possible. Just today, you are part of decision-making processes, making your job easier, whether it's on the app, and our people just do such a great job with that Prime app. Or the technology to get through scales and communicate properly. But I tell you, for all of you that are new, we are not perfect. And if somebody told you that on the way in here, it's a falsehood. We want to get better. Every day we try to get better. We think these meetings and this communication is really important for us to get feedback to make us a better company. And that's our goal. Now, having said that, I'll say that in the last couple of weeks, we've been awarded some Care of the Year awards. You know, our largest customer here at Prime is Tyson. We do maybe $4.5 million a week in revenue. And out of all their carriers that they use, Prime was selected Care of the Year. And that's because of what you all do. You should recognize that and, yeah, congratulate yourselves for that. And for all of you out there, maybe listening under any kind of a load or waiting for a load, we appreciate you all running too. So I thank you for that. I will also say that safety is our highest calling. You do not have to compromise good service by being unsafe. That's not part of the deal. Safety is always first. Yes, we care about service, but safety is our highest calling. Please don't ever forget that. We're out there talking with our customers now about what's going on with the holidays and how they're feeling, trying to get together a plan for the coming holidays. It seems like it's a little ways off, but really it's very, very close. November's almost, or Thanksgiving's almost 30 days away. And then we get into the Christmas and New Year holidays. So we're trying to figure out just where we are with our customers and what's going to happen there. Obviously, it's a great time for you all to see family. Having said that, our customers still want service. They still want their product on the shelves. So we try to balance that as best we can with time off and you know, giving the service to our customers. I'd also like to recognize all of our vendors over here. They're kind of across the corner building here. We appreciate all you folks do for us. Thanks for everything, being around here, working with our driver base. It's really important that you all see those people when you have questions. Finally, just on the sales side, I'd like to say once again, we appreciate all you do. You allow us to sell the very best product in the country to our customers. We don't necessarily have to be low price. Our strategy is to be low cost. That does not mean that you match the lowest price on every lane. So that's our strategy. You all help us get that done. So cannot thank you enough. Please be safe. I'd like to introduce the guy that started our company a few years ago. He's aging out on us, but he'll get up here. He's moving a little bit slow. Come on up here, Pard.
I admit it. I am moving a little bit slow.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you, Steve. Well, it's getting winter time, so I thought I better get used to putting some shoes on. Good morning, everybody. It's good to see you. You know, all these presenters this morning, I mean, what an outstanding group. You know,
they're awesome.
They were awesome. You know, we have a lot of smart folks around here. You heard about this certificate program that our folks in the shop went through. They all volunteered to go through it. They got a lot of compliments from their college professors. You know, they took these courses online of their own time over the course of a year. But, you know, that is just some of the things, or that's an example of some of the things that we do to bring on our next generation of leaders. Because you're out here on the road, you need support. You need support from good people that respect you, treat you kindly, and know what they're doing. So we got to combine some characteristics here to make the right kind of prime person. You know what I mean? You know, if they know everything, but they're not kind and not respectful to our drivers, and they're not suited to prime. So we focus a lot on those kinds of people with those kind of backgrounds and those kind of skills, because, you know, it takes a lot to run this place. You know, you look around, you see the equipment, see the facilities. Wasn't built with smoke and mirrors, folks. Smoke and mirrors didn't do it. It's got to be real. And they go in there and lace them up every day and get the job done. So just a credit to all the support folks we have. And of course, can't let one of these meetings go by without thanking you for what you do and express my sincere appreciation, because I saw this young man nodding his head when we were talking about, Steve mentioned that some of these four-wheel drivers out here have forgotten all the sacrifices you all made during the pandemic to keep the shelves stocked. And it was really noteworthy. You don't get near the attention or the respect that you deserve. And so the least I can do is thank you for what you do, and wish you good fortune here. God bless you, and please be safe out there.
Can I introduce you to two folks real quick? We got two attorneys in there here for the Idaho fire that we had like 7 years ago. They're here for the penalty phase. Gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Robert Lowe, our founder and owner.
Hi, Scott.